everybody, and welcome to the first part of our multiple-part Fallout 76 series we're doing, covering all of the dope gameplay and adventures we had at the Fallout 76 Greenbrier event. Huge shouts out to Bethesda for actually inviting us out to that event and flying us out, because it was a whole ton of fun, and I'm just so excited. Between the survival, the open world, the fallout of this, I just want to hop into it, so I'll simmer down and enjoy.
In 1776, this great nation accepted that armed conflict was the only way to preserve our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If our founding fathers could only see us now. From Antietam to Amiens, Okinawa to Anchorage, we have fought. And now, the Red Menace is at our doorstep. Democracy itself is under threat of annihilation. That is why today, July 4th, 2076, 300 years after our great nation began, we gather together to honor the completion of Vault 76. This sprawling underground shelter may have been engineered by Vault Tech, but it was built by you, the good people of America, so that if the bombs do come, if the end does come, our way of life will endure. But not everyone will be saved. Those chosen to enter this vault must be our best and our brightest. For when the fighting is stopped and the fallout has settled, you must rebuild. Not just walls, not just buildings, but hearts and minds, and ultimately, America itself. So as we stand here today, we pray that the world will know peace. But if that is not our destiny, if war must come, we stand together knowing that here in Vault 76, our future begins.
And there we have it, boys and girls, the beginning to our journey over here in Fallout 76, the opening cinematic leading up to this.
This is the Overseer.
Top of the morning there to you, Overseer.
I hope you all enjoyed the party last night.
Yeah, it was lit.
Even those who may have overindulged and overslept.
Don't know what you're talking about. I definitely didn't sleep in, but here what you guys
Time to get up and get out there.
are going to be seeing is just the character.
Locked away long enough.
Customization screen. Don't want to interrupt this lady too much. She's nice.
Today is Reclamation Day.
So just going to be showing off a lot of options and whatnot that you can go through.
It may be time to leave, but I'll never forget the day you all entered Vault 76. You come from every walk of life, every race, color, and creed. But you all share one very important trait. You are this country's best and brightest.
Oof.
But more importantly, you'll always be my family.
That is a low bar on the best and brightest there, Overseer. But here you guys can see, we actually take a little photo to start out the game and complete a challenge where we actually acquire atoms, which is a currency that you can utilize later on throughout the game here. I believe that's the currency that will actually allow you to go through an in-game shop that is going to be present that actually lets you like choose through different skins and whatnot. You could actually go and equip from what they were saying over at Bethesda. It is going to be purely cosmetic. There's not going to be any pay-to-win stemming from that, so that is very great news. And just like the news of the most iconic thing, I'd say, over in the Fallout universe, the Pip-Boy. I mean, after all, it's pretty much like your game menu in the freaking game. Speaking of which, there's actually a nifty feature regarding this that we will be going over in just a little bit. But in the meantime, we got a party to get to.
With nothing less than the rebuilding of America.
Wow.
Such a huge responsibility.
Yeah, way to really put the pressure there on me, Overseer.
Vault Tech is proud of you. I am proud of you.
Sir, hello.
When you hear this, it means I've been gone for several hours. I've got my own mission out there in Appalachia. This is the Overseer, signing off.
Well then, Overseer, hopefully I see you there soon, but in classic Fallout fashion, dude, it's probably been like hundreds of years since it's opened up or something. No, I don't think so, because you can already see the multiplayer component, the huge thing, in Fallout 76. Most anticipated edition, I'd say. Ha, funny robo. But yeah, probably the most anticipated, just big portion of this game-changing game is the availability of multiplayer, and we're already seeing our first look at a couple people. We're collecting a bunch of different things to go ahead and start out our adventure. You guys saw we were picking up some rations before. Food and water is something you need to watch for in this game. As a little bit of a heads up, we got the camp, which is actually going to be how we're able to build out our base. And finna get a job real quick. A pen, some nice glasses, and some perk cards. Go ahead, get that level up in really quickly, and here we have the 7 special attributes. We can choose in between all the different descriptions of each one of them. To my knowledge, I think they changed the cap for the specials from the mainstream Fallout games. They should be going up to 15 now instead of 10 to kind of like be more balanced in terms of, you know, the whole multiplayer aspect, and the fact that there's this whole new perk card system that you guys are actually going to be seeing here in just a jiff as soon as my indecisive bootay decides what it wants. I think I end up going with endurance or something like that. And you guys can already see a card we can pick from, but we can actually scroll through all of these. These are just, it just kind of like defaults to the one of the perk you just picked, or the special that you just picked. But here you can see all of the different ones we do have to choose in between. So there's a number in the upper left-hand corner. That number denotes how many points I believe it is going to use. You guys can see that it has even different tiers. This first tier gets us the ability to target limbs with VATS, whereas normally VATS defaults to just targeting the entire person. You guys saw there are all those different slots. So every time you level up a special, you actually increase your point allowment. Your point, like, yeah, the amount of points you're allowed in that special category in terms of the perk cards that then correspond to it. So while you don't necessarily have to get a perk card that corresponds to it, maybe like you get a new perk card that's really dope that goes into something else, especially when you're starting out, you already have 1 point in each and every special, so you can literally go with whatever you want to. And I don't know, man, I'm a huge fan of that, which actually does work a little bit differently in this game. It is kind of like, if you guys ever played Red Dead Redemption, a little bit more similar to that, in that the way that it's going to be working is it's kind of like real time, where like instead of having to target or anything, you can just you just kind of like shoot. You don't have to aim at the target. You activate VATS, you pull the trigger, and you'll have a percentage shot based off a variety of factors, such as how close you are, maybe, you know, just your general accuracy and whatnot. But on a more related note, we've escaped Vault 76, and we're headed over here to Vagabond, who was actually our group leader while we were playing. He directed us very kindly in the direction of this responder corpse, which you might be wondering, oh, how does this work? Well, the way the corpses work is, I believe, there's certain items in the game, and here you guys can see a look at the map, and actually a look over at the friends list and little interface over there, and how that's going to be working. I'm looking for my buddy Vagabond and accepting his team invite, and then we're going to be taking a look at this huge world map. But the way that loot is going to be working throughout this is that there's certain loot that is going to be instanced, and certain loot that is going to be kind of singular. So there's like that corpse that we just looted. I believe multiple people can loot. The loot from those will be independent, but then, for example, if you drop something for your buddy, that's gonna be a little bit different. That's gonna be like, all right, well, we can't just, you know what you drop can't just go to everyone. So when something gets dropped, funnily enough, you guys will see, it ends up in a lunch bag, as goofy as that sounds. But here what we're doing is just looking over the map, and well, that Mothman area is kind of catching my eye. I ain't gonna lie. So I think we actually end up heading out over there on a slight detour here to begin. There is a main quest that, from what they were saying, I think the main quest line can take anywhere up to 40 hours purely chasing the main quest line. And also we're waiting here for the rest of our group to go ahead and group up. But yeah, and that's just not the only thing you can do. There's a variety of different quests you can go ahead and go through, not to mention a variety of emotes you can go ahead and do to express your disgust and or potential diarrhea and other stomach viruses and whatnot. But back onto the quest point, like I was saying, there are actually also going to be miscellaneous quests that you can go ahead and do throughout the world. You guys will be seeing that throughout our playthrough here, which is going to span multiple episodes, totaling 3 hours. So a ton of Fallout 76 footage to go, not to mention a ton of other things we're going to be checking out, and a ton of combat. Oh, there's a ton of combat that we're going to be getting into. But back to what I was saying, we're actually going to be doing a couple of other videos checking out specific things about Fallout 76, because I'm just genuinely such a huge fan of this series. Loved Fallout 3. love Fallout New Vegas, love Fallout 4. I know it's a little bit different than 3 in New Vegas, but still, man, I'm a Fallout fan through and through, and to see it come to my favorite genre of games over here, an open world and survival, and honestly, my take from all the gameplays you guys will be seeing as we continue going on is just, this might be one of the most well-made survival games ever, just because it does have, like, it stays true to Fallout. There is so much room for activities, and there's a lot of those activities. Like, there's so many miscellaneous quests. There's so many actual, like, named side quests you can do as well. We end up running across a couple of those, not to mention, again, like I was saying, the main storyline, and of course, all the other stuff you can get sidetracked with, such as chasing mythical creatures like the Mothman, maybe like the Scorch Beast. There's a couple of other of those. Here we're actually going through our pit point. As you guys saw, we actually managed to switch our pit point to that more transparent overlay. So that is an option that might help, since there's going to be, you know, more like PvP, and you might want to be a little bit more aware, because you don't necessarily pause the game when you go to your Pip-Boy.
I found this holotape on the Overseer's terminal. Seems you should meet her at her camp, just down the road.
Well, okay, I'll get around to that, Mr. Robot, but first things first, me and my group over here are gonna get sidetracked, actually on the way to hunting one of those mythical beasts. I have managed to convince my group that, hey, let's chase the freaking Mothman, because that just sounds like a great adventure for a bunch of level 2s. And you guys can see in the lower left-hand corner, we do have our party. You can see everyone's health. You guys can see everyone's levels, and those levels will be going up, no worries. Lower right-hand corner, you guys can see that we are starting out a little bit on the lighter side in terms of ammo. It turns out being problematic, but the melee game does end up being pretty good. But that's what I'm talking about, man. Like, already just getting sidetracked, and we want to explore this open and beautiful and gorgeous world that's apparently filled with robots. Not for long, though. Not with us on the case. But back to all those things you get sidetracked with is like PvP and stuff too, and just all those new player versus player interactions, building up your base. There's just like, I don't know, man. I did not get a chance to check out every single thing, because that's just how jam-packed it was. But no worries, when that beta's coming out, we're gonna be covering the bejesus out of it. When the full game comes out, we're gonna be covering it. This is probably my dream Fallout game, so like I'm saying, make sure you guys do stay tuned, and best of luck in that giveaway that was mentioned earlier today. And that guy over there on the ground, he wasn't lucky, unfortunately. He was a skeleton. He was camping, so maybe he died happy, but he was definitely a skeleton. So kind of unfortunate for him. But back to what I was saying with the PvP. So you guys might be wondering, oh, why wasn't there just a giant bloodbath over at the beginning of the vault? Well, PvP actually isn't available until you are level 5. So it kind of gives you that just like initial time frame to be like, hey, I'm a noob. Let's try and figure out how to not be a total noob. At least, you know, sprout a limb here or there, maybe an extra thumb. Kind of help us out, not be a total potato, you know, be a potato with limbs. Those are spooky things, but man, absolutely gorgeous landscape. That's another thing. 4 times as big as Fallout 4, I believe, is what they were saying, and there is a lot to it. Obviously, there's gonna be areas like this that are just a little bit more wide open, a little bit more sparsely populated, but then you're just gonna have the usual Fallout / Bethesda RPG, just signature random things sprinkled in here and out, not to mention the entirely new possibility of having freaking just wandering across an enemy's base. Like I was saying, not gonna be a worry for us until we do hit that level 5, which we do end up getting in some PvP battles later on. So like I'm saying, make sure you guys are subscribed with that notification bell hit, because this is a game that it is my dream game, man. I'm a huge survival game fan, huge open world fan, huge Fallout fan. So when this came out, it's like, bruh, is Bethesda reading my mind? And Bethesda, hey, I might need to start charging you rent, because it turned out to be a pretty good idea. So I need licensing fees. I kid, but we have actually come across a road, and this road contains a corpse. What in tarnation? Let's search it. Yeah, no, actually emits radiation. Don't do that unless you want a chance at some loot. They do have a chance at dropping some loot, but they also do become an irradiated pile of dust. Lower left-hand corner, you guys can see that the rads are taking away from our maximum health, so just something that you want to keep in mind. Speaking of the interface, in the lower left-hand corner, you guys can also see that little star that denotes the group leader out of the group. So you can see the star is next to Vagabond, and he is the leader. Upper right-hand corner, you guys can see a quest, and right in front of us, well, right in front of us a second ago, you can see a base, a developed base that actually kind of looks like a concert hall. I think I might need to go play some tunes, but you guys can see a higher level player over there with a super dope set of power armor. Gotta give him the thumbs up. Loving the base. Even has a porta potty, restroom facilities. He's thinking. I'm kind of like just looking around right now like, oh, has he murdered many people nearby? Oh, pile of meat. I don't know if that's someone else's body, but hey, I'll take that ammo, you know. But back to what I was saying, this is just a taste at what base building can encompass. Tubas. The real draw. That was keeping us in. No, but you guys can see actually a couple water purifiers back there. Hopping on the piano, and this isn't just like a total meme. Like, if you play your instrument long enough, you'll actually gain a bonus effect, which you guys should see kicking in here right around the time that our band starts getting together and thinking about what to title our debut album. But then as soon as that bonus pops up, psych! I'm dipping out of there, man. Got the paycheck. Gotta dip. Now, we're making some tunes, though. We're making some tunes, but you guys can actually see a lot of what this base contains. Defenses in the form of turrets, a workbench. You guys can put down different workbenches where you actually have the ability to scrap. You guys can scrap actually at any type of workbench, and you guys can do scrap all junk. That's actually very important to manage your weight, because weight managing is a big part of this game. Stim packs take up weight. Ammunition takes up weight. Junk takes up weight. You can actually store a lot of that stuff at your stash back at your base that you do establish as well. Here we're just kind of going through some recipes. End up crafting a melee weapon because we're like, I don't really have any ammo. I probably want something to go and fight with, so we got that to mess around with. But yeah, inventory management is definitely going to be important, but it's nice and handy. Go to any workbench. You can scrap all junk and it'll usually save you a lot. There is the lunch bag I was talking about. 10 stim packs we got. Shouts out to, I don't know if Vagabond or the 65 Monstrosity did it, but shouts out to them. Thanks for the 10 stimmies. But you guys saw, I picked them up. They're gone. No one else can pick them up. But you know I gotta send them the heart. Just be like, hey, yo, babes. Thank you. Appreciate it. But you guys actually saw me interacting with the lights a little bit earlier. So when you do stumble across an enemy's base, at least at the time that we stumbled across it, you can actually interact with a lot of what they have. You can't necessarily take from their base. If we wanted to, if we had a death wish, could attack the turret, but like, YOLO. Nope, no YOLO today. That devil's friendly. He even waved goodbye to us, man. We made a potential ally for the future. You know, whenever we gotta call on the Batman, the Dev Man, just gotta put a giant Bethesda gear icon in the sky. Don't know how realistic that's gonna be in Fallout. You can see our guy finessing him like, come with us. Nah, I don't think us level 65 wants to be adventuring with us, but we continue our expedition to the Mothman. And of course, in classic Fallout / Bethesda fashion, there's a little bit of a detour at the top of this hill we managed to get ourselves within, but going back to that base that we did just see, so that was actually a kind of a little bit of a taste at the base building. Wasn't a super crazy base, didn't have many walls, wasn't very defensive, was more for show, but you guys actually got a little bit of a look at a couple of the systems, because a lot of what that guy was on, he did build from scratch. You were able to put down the foundations. Foundations are super nice. You guys can actually go, I actually am dropping another video, it should be linked at some point in this video through an annotation or something, detailing all the building items available in the game, so you guys can take a little look at that as I go ahead and pump this robot full of some bullets. But back to what I was talking about with the whole building system, it actually allows you to snap, so it's a huge improvement over Fallout 4. I feel like Fallout 4 is kind of just an initial testing grounds for a lot of the features that we see in here, and Fallout 76 really refines a lot of them. Building is so much better, similar to a lot of survival games you see out there. Maybe you think Rust, maybe Ark, whatever it is, you can actually like snap foundations to each other. You don't have to freeform everything. Certain things do snap to each other, which makes it very, very nice. And as you guys will be seeing later and or in that video, if you do decide to go ahead and check it out, also check it out over here. We got a little bit of VATS. I was kind of confused how it was working at first, but you guys can see I was actually targeting different portions of his body. And you guys can see I just shoot, got a couple shots off. Weren't the highest percentage shots, unfortunately, but we still got him off, which is good. Trying to eye that first aid kit. I'm so used to seeing those things give stim packs. Maybe I didn't look at it right. Whatever. I got a banjo, so who's the real winner here? Spoiler, not this robot, because, well, I'm out of ammo, so I'm about to punch him to death. Sorry, robot. These fists are made of steel, man. These are the fists of freaking, I don't know, man. Something really hard. Like, extra hard steel. Steel squared. Steel 2.0. Whatever you want to call it. Steel, yeah. Go with the flow. But back to what I was talking about. So the VATS thing that you saw, my ability to target different limbs, again, that refers back to the perk card that we did acquire with our first initial level up. We'll be getting more of those as we continue playing, just like we're getting more loot. So let me go ahead and do acquire. We got a little bit of armor over there that I think I actually might maybe neglect to put on for just a little bit. I was too enticed by the banjo. What can I say? But there you guys saw the scrap all feature in work. You guys saw we're completing more challenges. I believe there will actually be daily challenges, weekly challenges, maybe even monthly challenges to actually give the ecosystem a great way of getting a ton of those atoms and cashing in on some super dope skins. Another petrified corpse. This one died taking a poop. That is a unfortunate way to die, I must say. But there's also a nice little river over here, and I'm like in classic Fallout fashion. There's got to be something cheeky over here. So we go ahead and do explore it while our team kind of continues on in their search. I'm just like, yeah. I'll catch up. No worries. No worries. And if you guys are wondering about different systems, like I was saying, we are going to be having dedicated videos on the channel. So make sure that you guys are checking out those others and making sure you're subscribed, because we're going to be playing an unhealthy amount of Fallout 76, man. If you guys don't know, I post a ton of base building, a ton of survival games on the channel. That's honestly one of my favorite game genres. And to see Fallout 76 tackle the genre and, from my experience, really take it by storm and provide such a great product, like no other survival game has this level of just stuff to do, man. I don't think there's any other way of putting it. This game just has stuff to do, and it feels so good, because it's not like a survival game that's purely PvP. It's not a survival game that's purely PvE. It really feels like such a great mix, and there's just so much untapped potential, and we're actually about to be tapping into the potential of Mothman as we come upon Point Pleasant, I believe it is called, where I think they have the Mothman Museum, and we end up finding some pretty sketchy things involving the Mothman over here that I want to give a look, just like I'm giving a look over here at these weapons, favoriting a couple of them, favoriting the pipe pistol. It isn't total doggy doo-doo and whatnot. That short hunting rifle, you guys can see certain weapons do require certain levels. We were not high enough level for the hunting rifle yet, but that will change in due time, just like a little something else will change in due time, such as the locations that we are adventuring throughout this series, which again is going to span multiple parts of 20 to 30 minutes. It's going to span multiple of those as we kind of traverse all of the gameplay we got our hands on, which was about 3 hours of Fallout 76. We're going to be going through our adventure, not to mention some of the specific stuff that happens, like nukes, everything the base building has to offer, a couple of little fun sidetrack quests and shenanigans we get off into, dabbling with base building. And that's the crazy thing. There's just even more I wish I capitalized on. There was even weapon modding. Like, that's what I'm talking about. The depth behind this game is just astonishing, and man, I can't wait for the beta to come out later this month. We're gonna be playing that as well. Like I'm saying, I'm becoming a Fallout 76 nut, man. It's bad, but is it really bad? No, it's Fallout 76. It's freaking great. Among all the other survival games we're going to continue checking out on the channel, so I do urge y'all to stick around for that. We got plenty of survival games coming out, because it is the freaking, dude, it's the holiday season. Plenty of great things to come, and plenty of great traversals, but none more great. Honestly, Fallout 76, hype #1, easily takes the cake, just like I'm taking all of this nice ammo, which is definitely going to come in handy. Stopping by on the bench, doing that scrapping. Again, that's just a great practice to have. Just make it your instinct. You see one of these, head on over there and scrap it. Won't scrap your weapons or anything like that. It just tends to scrap the actual junk you have. You can choose to scrap weapons if you choose. Weapons do have a good amount of weight behind them. Here you guys can see some of the different ammos that we can craft as well, but weight management is going to be important if you become over encumbered. Simply walking will drain your AP, which is like your stamina / your VATS meter, in case you are new to the whole Fallout 76. Well, not Fallout 70. Yeah, I'm probably going to be new to Fallout 76, but the whole Fallout series. And on top of that, if you guys are new, let me just say this is going to be a very interesting game to begin with, whereas like maybe if you didn't like older Fallout games, you genuinely might enjoy this one, because it doesn't it does still have that Fallout feel. It's got the RPG stuff, but it adds in this huge component with multiplayer, the ability to squad up with buddies, enter into PvP. And I'm not saying that like suddenly old Fallout fans won't enjoy this. It's definitely a little bit different of a game, but at its core, it still has Fallout, and it's going to be so interesting to see how everything over here develops. I can't wait to do it. Hopefully we get ourselves a super dope group to go ahead and explore that with once the beta and official launch comes around. That's going to start wrapping up for this episode of Fallout 76. Make sure you are subscribed with that notification bell. Hit plenty of Fallout 76 videos coming over the coming days. And if you guys want to see more, let me know in that comment section down below. Hit that like button, and best of luck in the giveaway. As I was saying, winners of the first one being announced tomorrow. But that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you guys all a ton for watching. This was an awesome one. I'll talk to you next one. See ya.